to the topic. This paper would be an eye-opener in the study of the vast and wide influences Tamil has exercised over other Dravidian languages and Indo-European languages. I hope it would open new vistas in the analysis of Butler English, especially the syntax of Butler English, because it refutes the popular and well-established contention of the recognized and renowned sociolinguists like Schuchat and Priya Hosali, according to whom the syntactic peculiarities of Butler English cannot have been concluded to have derived from any one of the Dravidian languages. They strongly and stoutly argue that the syntactic peculiarities are from the pidginization processes. But the present paper tries to refute that argument and try to establish that it is all because of the influence of one of the Dravidian languages, which happens to be, of course, Tamil. Priya Hosali, the author of Butler English Form and Function, this is her PhD dissertation, and the author of the Syntactic Peculiarities of Butler English, an article which she published later, presented a paper on the copuloless classes in Butler English in Sala Roundtable Conference held at York, England. Her presentation and analysis of the copuloless classes in Butler English was based on two hypotheses offered by Ferguson and Schuchat. Ferguson's hypothesis is that any pidgin language which has its lexical source language as type A language is plus copula language. So any pidgin which is supposed to have its lexical source language as type A language or plus copula language will tend to omit copula. That is his theorization. Schuchat tries to theorize this way. According to him, any language, when it tries to simplify, when it becomes a pidgin, it is simply simplification and reduction process, it's pidginization process, nothing more. Priya Hosali further confirmed the statement of Schuchat by her analysis of Butler English samples. The present paper tries to refute and disprove the statements of these two renowned sociolinguists and try to establish the contention that the Butler English simplification and reduction techniques are mainly due to the simplification and reduction techniques found in the colloquial Tamil, because most of the butlers I have chosen for analysis, the samples I have collected are illiterates mostly, less educated butlers. Either they have done 3rd standard, 4th standard or 5th standard, not more than that. So the linguists like Schuchat and Priya Hosali take all efforts to prove that this is simplification and reduction process, but they do not take pains to disprove that there could possibly be mother tongue interference. So this is the focus of my paper. I am trying to prove that there is more of mother tongue interference than of any other processing. Butler English, as it is rightly called the Tamil English of Madras. Many linguists have named Butler English differently. Let me go into the paper to give you illustrations. It's called the Tamil English of Madras, and it's called Madras English Pidgin or Butler English, and it's called the Tamil English of Madras. Different linguists like Romain, Reinecke and Schuchat give these different names. And to tell you more honestly, the data, Priya Hosali herself states in her PhD dissertation that the data is heavily weighted in favor of Dravidian languages. The data is, I quote, the data is heavily weighted in favor of Dravidian languages. And to tell you, give you more information, of all the 75 butlers I have taken up for analysis, 2/3 of them speak one of the Dravidian languages. Out of these 75, half of the population have got Tamil as their mother tongue. And out of 75, 60 of them know Tamil, whether it's Malayalam or Kannadam as the mother tongue, 60 of them out of 75 know Tamil. So when they have got a sound knowledge of the syntax of colloquial Tamil, there is a possibility, a positive possibility that they ought to have been influenced by the syntax of Tamil. To come to the similarities between the syntactic peculiarities between Butler English and colloquial Tamil, I read out from the text. If reduction and simplification, reduction of course refers to reduction of lexical items, omission of lexical items and structural items, both being included under the category of word. Simplification refers to the omission of grammatical categories, processes and rules. So if reduction and simplification are processes in pidginization as well as early stage of language acquisition, they are part of the syntactic system of colloquial Tamil as well. When all the three are the applicable candidates, when somebody is trying to form a pidgin language, it could be at the early stage of language acquisition or early stage of pidginization, or could be the influence of mother tongue. How shall we conclude? Since mother tongue is something deep rooted and natural, and at the very early stage we can conclude that the influence of mother tongue on Butler English is stronger and more natural than the process of pidginization. As Todd's popular epigrammatic saying goes, there are universal patterns of linguistic behavior appropriate to contact situations. Butler English, to define, I thought most of you know, Butler English is a language, variety of language spoken by the native butlers in India, especially in Madras region, to communicate with their English knowing masters. So it was a language developed at contact situations. So usually contact languages like this have got a universal pattern of linguistic behavior. That is what Todd explains in his popular book, brought out in 1974. He further talks about the human beings' predetermined biological propensities for acquiring language and the capacity for linguistic reduction and simplification. This is something universal. Any child or any foreigner, when he tries to learn a language, will naturally go in for simplification and reduction process. Todd himself confirms that these processes are innate and universal, I quote. And we find reduction and simplification in the linguistic behavior of Tamil speakers also. Tamil as a language is a copula-less language. To give examples, avan nallavan, ivan en annan, idu en veedu. We don't say idu en veedaga irukkirathu. If you try to translate it into English, ivan en annanaga irukkiran.